I'm very much looking forward to getting back into the thick of things. So as you can see, we are missing our Gervain. Hopefully he will be with us soon, but safely. What was he doing? He was climbing down Mount Spokane. Is what the Discord said. So hopefully he'll be with us. And unfortunately, Gnome will not be here tonight. So for those of you looking for Shrag, he's not gonna be here. Hopefully, fingers crossed for next week. So anyways, we wrapped up season 1 a couple weeks ago. And you guys had a rather interesting encounter with it. Does anyone want to rehash what we went through and get their, we're gonna bump it up, extra 3 HP of temporary hit points? Who wants to try and relive that lovely evening together? Any takers? Jim, you thinking about it?
Yeah, I don't quite remember exactly the details, which is fitting given that it was a pitched battle. We woke up from a night of important dreams and omens and flashbacks. And to see that like the Crimson Mist and some sort of vampiric Alcide were invading the Grove. It was an all-out war as vegetation was corrupted and brought to life. And I think we fought like some ghoul or shadow monsters. I don't recall, but it was a nasty fight. Like It was a real knockdown drag out there. But our heroic ally shot the Alcide vampire through the heart with an arrow, thus paralyzing them, while the other two Alcide with someone, it was like, was it Aeolith and Maurice? Someone was like leading the charge towards the river to drive out the red mist, but that's about all Slain remembers. Just a whirlwind fighting.
Yeah, it was definitely a very heavy combat end of the season, and unfortunately the Crimson Mist did get away from you. So let's go around, introduce yourselves, tell us about your PC, and we'll get going into our lovely story of The Last Heir. So I'm going to go around. We'll start with the top row. So we have our lovely Torn Pixie. Why don't you get us started?
Hi, I'm Torn Pixie, and you can find me at Torn Pixie Twitch on Twitter and I think Instagram. I can't remember clearly right now on that end.
That's such a mood.
I'm gonna be like, yeah, well, I was talking about stuff earlier. It's no wonder. I'll be playing Eowylgalith, our Shadow Fae Warlock, who recently went Druid as well. One of my favorite disaster children, of which I currently have many.
And we love them. We love them. All right, jumping down to Jim. You're up, my dear.
Hey, yes, I am Jim Davis of WebDM, and check me out on, I guess, at The Real Jim Davis. I don't really do much anymore, but I don't know, maybe one. So yeah, and it feels like PAX Unplugged was yesterday, and
doesn't it though?
And I was attempting to try chicken feet for the first time.
Chicken feet. There
yes,
are pictures.
there are pictures of it.
That was just disgusting.
Oh well, thank you very much. It was at your insistence, so that's all on you.
Oh, they were like
Listen, I tried.
squishy.
They were squishy. Now, if they were crispy, I think I would have enjoyed them more. But my dog loves chicken feet, so I don't see why I wouldn't either. Anyway, I'm playing Slain, who does like chicken feet and will eat them as often as he can, unless they are, of course, Henrietta's, who he has to rescue now. And gift with sentience.
There you go.
That's his quest.
Excellent. All right, moving along over to Kai, darling. How are you this evening?
Good. I just have to add though, those chicken feet, like if you pick them up, they like wiggled. It was like they were
cartilaginous, if that's a word.
That was one of my favorite things about PAX U, I have to add. It was good. So I am playing Zira, a halfling sword dancer fighter. And she likes pie, and my pie teammate is not here yet, but should be.
Hopefully. Yep. Excellent. And then moving over to Jesse.
Hello. My name is Jesse / Jesse Neon. I am playing Maurice, the Pantheist Priest Cleric, with a total of 6 gods right now. He is my wonderful metal man. And since him, I have now slowly been building up a collection of Warforged / Gearforged characters. I'm stuck now. I can't do anything else. It's too much fun.
You're doing such a cool job on them too, but that's not it. Well, it is kind of here, but I love Maurice. Maurice is fun. Metal man! Ah! Okay, and I am the Muse. I am the DM for this evening. And I can't wait to see what we're going to do with these lovely, wonderful PCs as we pick back up with the last Heir. So you're standing back outside and everything's just come to a close. You have watched Finium carry Dracera, the paralyzed vampiric Alcide, back into the longhouse. And you can tell by the look on his face, he is beyond furious. This is the person who has been the cause of all the upheaval and all the strife and all of the issues that have been happening in the Grove. And she is one of the maidens. So this is a very significant problem for the entire clan. The fact that one of their higher-ups has taken such drastic measures to actually do something to cause such harm, not only to the Grove of Eternal Autumn, but also to the priestess, Gypsophilia. So you see the other LC just sort of start to disperse and start picking up the remains of the other creatures and just sort of trying to get things back to normal a little bit. And a breeze whips through the air, and you notice it's actually a little bit more chill than normal. In fact, you'd almost swear that you need to go back inside and see if you could find something maybe woven to put on and keep yourself a little bit warmer. And at this point, it's still early morning, say around 10 o'clock, but it's one of those things where it should be warmer by now, just based on how you've been there, how long you've been there, and how you've noticed, that early autumn season feel to it. And as you look up, the sky has taken on a very gray tone, and there are thick clouds gathering above you, and any bit of sunshine is struggling to get through those clouds. And the breeze intensifies a little bit, and you see more of these orange, yellow, red, golden tone leaves whipping in the trees, and some brown ones break free and start spinning around each other in a little miniature tornado. And you notice as you pause, there's more leaves on the ground than there were before. And it's not so much looking like an early autumnal haven as it is a later autumn.
And it's otherwise mid to late spring, right? Like in the rest of the Margreave, In
the rest of the Margreave, it is the start of early spring. When you go out of the grove, you see fresh buds, early greens.
Yeah,
like that.
Late April.
Mm-hmm. Kind of. Yep, you have that loamy smell to the earth, and there's, the snow that's still melting a little bit. So it's early spring everywhere else in the Margreave, but here, you're noticing that shift in the season in and of itself.
That's not good.
Can we
I don't
tell
know
how big of an area?
Yeah, you can give me an investigation or a perception check to see how much of the...
Oh, shoot, there's a dice in this game. I forgot.
There's a dice roll. There's a thing.
And it's up to you if you guys want to use roll 20 or if you want to roll the real thing. I'm rolling the real thing because I like it.
And I got some pretty ones, so I want to use them.
I rolled a 3, and I don't have my character sheet pulled up, but I doubt it'll be any good.
I think
Slade's kind of roughed up.
Slade, yes, you're a little bit roughed up and everything like that. So you basically, notice the chill because the discomfort, Zira, but for you, you're like, oh, it's fall. Yeah, it's fall. Especially for winter folk. You're like, whatever.
I don't like that. I'm going to go get a sweater.
Okay. So what do you guys do? Do you want to stay out in the open area, or do you go into the longhouse where you just saw Finium along with a couple of the other higher-up Alcides going in with him and falling as he's carrying the vampire Alcide with him?
I'm not sure what the others are doing, but Maurice is for sure staying as close to that vampire Alcide as he can.
Okay, so you followed Finium in then. What would Ael be doing?
Close-ish, but doesn't dare go in the longhouse because they've got their traditions. They've learned that, respect that stuff. I think that's always been the thing. Actually, it's not learned, it's just thing. Yeah.
Okay. And Slain, would he be staying outside or would he be going in?
No, wherever we slept, I can't remember if that was the longhouse or somewhere else.
That's the longhouse, yeah.
Okay, he's just gonna go in there, and he's looking for something. He's gonna, and look for bandages and the like. I don't think I've spent his vigor yet. I'll check. But,
okay, and Zira, what about you? Would you be hanging outside with Ale sort of at the door, or would you be going in with the other two?
I think that I wouldn't think much of it. I think it would just be changes in the temperature. So I think I'd go in and get a coat.
Okay. All right. So as you enter in, Slain, you hear the very notable voice of Mariana.
Ah, heard it was a tough one this go around. You look a little beat up.
Oh yeah, it's good. No fire though. That's kind of nice. Nothing corrosive, so I'm good on that front.
Well, that's lucky then. Need a little assistance, my dear?
Oh yeah, please. And he's looking for his, something nice with a wool outfit. Nothing too billowy. Don't want to get snagged.
Okay, and there's a major height difference between Slain and Mariana. Mariana is maybe just cresting, maybe like 4'11", and Slain's 7'11". Nice. So there's that good jump between the two of you. So she sort of peeks around from what would probably be your hip level, and Aol, she sort of motions to you.
Don't stay outside. Get in here. You hear me?
Are those leaves? Is that another one? Should we be worried about those leaves?
We should, yes. In fact, I'd like to talk to all of you if that's possible.
All right.
Things are a little concerning, and I just saw what Finium carried back into the holding cell, I think is what he called it. But you're all looking a little ragtagged, and it sounded rather intense out there. So please do, let's just sort of take some time and recuperate. From what I can tell, I've been doing some research. That mist should not be showing itself, at least until, I don't know, maybe this evening? I don't think daylight is exactly its friend. Let's put it that way. So, come over here.
I'm going to start looking around the area we're in for, like, alcohol, whiskey, ale.
There is absolutely off towards the sideboard, because you're sort of in the main area where they would have their banquets and their feasts during the evenings and stuff, if they didn't want to go outside. So there is absolutely a sideboard, and there are bottles, and there are steel mugs, even some wooden mugs if you wanted to instead, depending on the look you wanted to have. But you absolutely could get something to quickly toss back if you so wanted.
While Rihanna's talking, I'm like, be clinking them together, pouring some for everyone. I'm not going to give anybody a choice.
Oh, okay. So you're just sort of like playing bartender at this time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Very cool. So as you are all sort of getting yourselves settled, Gervain comes in, and he's rather quiet. For Gervain isn't exactly unusual, but you can tell that he's definitely thinking over what just had happened and the results of everything. And Shreg, they've come in as well, and they look around the room and they start playing again with the dodecahedron. And
she told me lots of things to keep in mind, and gotta be sure that make things right again. I need to go read up on some stuff. I'm gonna go read their scrolls. If you don't mind, I just need some time alone.
And you can see they're very, very pensive. And the dodecahedron actually starts to glow a little bit, almost as if their thoughts are fueling the magic of the dodecahedron. And they make their way up this sort of smaller set of stairs to where you see there's sort of a lifted level where there are scrolls and books and everything tucked towards the left-hand side from where you enter. And so they sort of grab a few things and sit down on the floor. and just start leafing through and sort of taking notes as they go along. And Mama looks up and she nods her head.
Yes, that's probably best. We'll let them do their thing. I have my suspicions that they know what they're doing for reasons. Now, for the rest of you. What are you all thinking?
Well, you know, I don't know that it's probably gonna come to us again. I don't know that we're gonna have to go to it, right? Or
something tells me it's going to find us. Yes.
Yeah. So then, you know, what's it? Just set a trap for it. You know, something like that. We've got good bait if it wants this. You know, what's her name back?
You're trying to hold a moonbeam in your hand, Shlaine.
No.
Have you ever tried to catch fog?
No. I would use bellows.
Use the wind to your advantage?
Yeah, you know, if we get big enough, then we might be able to like and plug it up. That's my best guess.
That's like
You think outside the box. Interesting. What did you notice about it? I'm sorry, my dear. I'm sorry. What you were saying?
Wouldn't that require weather magic, though? That's hard to control.
It is.
I think if you got close enough, or you know, inside of it, then you could, you know, just suck it right up in there. You know, like, you know, bellows. And then if you plug it, you know, it might last long enough to get it to the tomb. You know, where we could seal it and all that.
Right, well, we definitely want to get it back to the stones, yes, but there's also that slight issue of making sure we have a key component to
The
other half. Yes, the sacrifice.
Yeah.
Now that is something where it does need to be significant. Not just take a chicken and do your thing. It's not exactly something that I've approached Finium about quite yet either, because, you know, Finium, your clan is in the middle of this upheaval and things are falling apart and your partner is looking like she's going to die. Who do you want to sacrifice? I don't think that'd go over too well.
We already talked about it, actually.
With Finium?
I think so, right? If I remember correctly what you had. No?
I can't recall if we had with Finium or not.
It was with you, Gervain, and AOL. That was it.
Yeah.
I think it was pretty much very much an internal conversation, yeah.
Yep. It was not shared with anyone as of yet.
No, not with Finium.
Right. Well, that's probably for the best, because I don't think he'd exactly be the most receptive to it right now, but I'm all ears. What are you thinking?
Well, we have to find a sacrifice first, I guess.
Yes, it seems that a few of you are ahead of the game, perhaps.
Yeah, I don't know if, you know, in the light of day that we're still, you know, going ahead with it, but Aol, are your thoughts still where they were?
I don't see anything else that makes any more sense.
What are these thoughts?
And you see her brow furrow and her intense eyes, they lock directly onto you, AOL. And the cotton candy, white tufted hair, it's sitting chaotically atop of her head. So she's been, you know, running her hands through her hair and everything like that. So you can tell she's definitely been concerned and worried about everyone involved today.
Well, with the awareness that it would have to be of significance and it'd have to be someone that's connected to the grove and to the forest. The grove can't afford to lose anyone that's really been there, you know?
All right.
But maybe there's a reason that I've formed a connection, and maybe that's my purpose.
Zira, give me a drink. Come here, come. Give
I'm
me
gonna
that right
like
now.
purposely grab like a pretty hefty looking like whiskey. And I'm
Okay.
gonna take a drink as I hand it to Mama Rihanna.
Okay, so she's going to grab what you hand her. Let's see how she does with this one. Even better. All right. So with a 5, she takes a huge swig of whatever you've put in the cup, and you see her put the cup down, and she smacks her lips.
Oh, that's a kick in the pants. Okay. No is no. Granted, there could be 2 of you in a minute, but there's only one of you, my dear. And you are rather special, yes, but I don't want to offend anyone here, but you may not be special enough, if that makes sense. How much of the ceremony that was performed back then are you aware of? The lore, the legends, the ooh,
The ritual.
that's a good one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
can't say that I know every detail. Got a fair amount from a certain grandmother.
Ah, my mother. Right?
Yes, and a bit from the Grove, and there's an understanding of how important it is and how integral it is to actually keeping balance to everything, not just here, but for the forest. And when we've discovered that this is an entire forest issue, not just the Grove.
You are correct. Which is why I appreciate the gesture and the thought. And frankly, what did you give me?
See her, she kind of shoots over at you.
Oh, frankly, I'm proud of you for even wanting to take that step. Jervain, when'd you get here? Were you here before? Was he here before?
He's been here the whole time. It's your
Yes.
it's the alcohol.
Metal Man, was he always here?
Well, just being himself all quiet like in a corner, but that's not exactly unusual for Jervain.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, let's get back to the sacrifice. And you're not going to be in it, but you are going to help. So, on either end, we need, like you said, balance. Equal parts. Yes, you know. Ooh.
Who's gonna be the sacrifice then, though? Because like somebody's gonna have to like give their life and stuff, right?
Well, we're kind of playing with new rules here. We're dealing more with things this time.
This feels like one
Yeah.
of those grandma moments, though. You know, where you're like, back at it, and you wish you'd done something. Anyway, I'll let you talk.
I'm sorry, I was talking.
Yeah. Maybe not. Maybe the whiskey, but you can finish.
Oh, it was whiskey. Oh, that explains a lot. Don't give me whiskey, but you gave me whiskey. Okay. We are dealing with the mist, which is sort of.
And again, she's almost looking at her hands like she's watching the trails. Because that alcohol hit her quickly.
Well, it's not so much the vampire lady that it once was. But when she was contained, it took a very powerful druid willing to sacrifice themselves to activate this ritual with the other 4. 4, yes, because it's 5. Yes, so 4. So, what we need, at least how I'm thinking, and I have a feeling Shrek is looking into it too.
And you can see Shrek is up there, and they're leafing through, and they're taking furious notes and everything.
Perhaps we have a loophole. Perhaps the sacrifice doesn't need to be someone entirely, but perhaps a thing that's been imbued with magic. Druidic magic. Powers.
What kind of thing? I feel like you wouldn't be telling us this if you didn't have something in mind.
Well, you fought the thing!
Fought
Think!
the
Use those brains! You fought something that contained druidic powers?
Oh, sure. The air spirits.
I'm fairly certain she's referring to our vampiric Elseed friend in the background.
Oh,
No.
yeah,
No!
Okay.
Still
Oh,
no?
Oh, I thought it had to be willing.
Still
That
no.
was not willing.
I'll give you hints.
Oh,
How's
yeah.
that? It was a different grove.
Oh, I was on walkabout for that one.
You take a lot of walkabouts.
I mean, yeah, the forest is really nice in the evening.
I'm not gonna argue with that one. It's lovely, especially when the moon's rising.
It
No.
really is. It's nice.
She's talking about where the children were.
Mhm.
The
Yes.
creature from the
I-
Cradlegrave?
I was
Yes,
absent
yes.
that week.
Jim's like,
I
I'm
literally
out.
took
I wasn't. Nope, sorry.
I don't even have notes to look at.
That's a no. So, the second you mention the children, Aol, she starts like snapping.
Yes, exactly. Remember, you fought the golem, the vine golem, and it dropped the book. Remember?
Right. Right.
We have that knowledge to create another one. For whoever created that one thought it'd be a good idea to put in a new book after it got activated.
But you guys could make a vine golem and you haven't told me?
You never
Well.
asked.
Well,
You would
Come
know
on.
if you weren't walking about.
And
oh,
hanging
that's
out with
yeah.
grandmother too.
Well, can I leave, Gervain, or you're going to hold my hand when I leave?
I wish I could.
They're getting feisty.
I know, right? So we got to take the vine golem and make it into a focus for the power that we're going to use in place of a sacrifice.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, okay.
There's still a level of sacrifice that is going to be needed.
Yeah.
I've thought about this part. It's going to take some very strong and older magic. And it's going to need to be imbued. You know, shove it in as much as you can. Type of thing. But, quite frankly, I'm tired. And I'm thinking it might be nice to sort of embrace the whole full mortal thing.
Oh, we still have to sacrifice a druid, right?
Well, not like, you know, no, they're not gonna die in their sleep, no.
Yeah.
Well, no, because that's not in your sleep.
Well,
Okay, so some
Yes,
sacrifice has to happen with some sort of druid.
yes, have to be willing to sacrifice something.
Okay.
Maurice, what are you thinking?
Blood through the wood. That's what I saw. Now, the way you're talking's got me a little concerned that maybe you're feeling your ends coming a little bit sooner rather than later. Perhaps you could dump some of that stuff into that vine golem and bring an end to all this.
Well, you're not off the mark, no. I still have some powers left over from when I was one of her daughters. why not just take that and shove it into the golem? And I can go back to the tavern and live out the rest of my years as a mortal and just sort of have my cake and beer.
Are you certain that this would work without harming yourself?
Nothing in life is certain, Metal Man, ever. But it might be our best chance to make sure that those we care about and want to keep around stick around. Quite frankly.
Then if that's what you want to do, then I'll do anything in my power to make it happen.
I appreciate your support. Quite frankly. Oh, it's starting to wear off. Good. Quite frankly, you all have a good amount of potential and a future. I've had my fun, so if something goes pear-shaped, I've had a few hundred years of fun. I'm good with that.
I'm gonna clink Mama Rihanna's bottle with another bottle and like take a shot with her.
Okay, and she'll like whoa, and she's picking it right back up again. So it's both. We'll both roll and see, because it's the same bottle you gave her, right?
I mean, that's a better alternative than sacrificing your life.
And after that, Gervain's going to grab the ball from Zira and take like 3 big gulps. You can audible gulps from the bottle.
There's 7-11
with like big bubbles that come up.
So in that case, let's do a Constitution check for you, Gervain, with disadvantage.
Yes,
I got an 8.
You got an 8. All right, so Zira, as you take this swig, you see Mama's taking a swig. This time, I think because she's already had that big swig, she's sort of warmed up to the liquor of choice, and she's just happy at this point. She's not, as affected as she was with the first go round. You, however, start feeling this warmth spread down your throat, and it spreads across your chest, and it even goes down into your fingertips, and you just feel this lovely sense of getting warm. And the room sort of gets a soft focus to it. It's not so much the sharp, dark edges and shadows that usually you see in the longhouse open area. It sort of has this sort of sleepy, dreamlike quality to it. So you're not exactly cannot comprehend everything, but you're feeling mellow and comfortable for sure.
I do like a whole like body shiver and then go sit on the table, like legs crossed, and just like watch what's going on then.
Okay, and go ahead.
8 for Gervain.
And AOL?
And if this is what we're doing, we can just like keep passing that around.
So the bottles go around. Gervain, you get the similar effect. You feel yourself relax a little bit, which for you is probably not a bad thing because you have been nothing but a ball of tense energy since before the encounter facing Dracera and the Crimson Mist, Lady Veil Mist. So you take this swig and you finally feel your limbs loosen. Where is Little Czar? Is he with us? Is he prancing around outside?
I don't know what setting or context we're at because
you are in the longhouse, sitting at the table in the main area.
Oh, he's in there with us. He's kind of at my, how you sit down and there's a pet kind of like back and right of you. That's where he is. And then I'm going to plop next to Zira after she kind of did her little wiggle and sit thing.
So you're going to sit on the table too?
Yep.
All right. So you two are sitting on the table and Mama just sort of...
You're muted, Kai.
You are quite a bit larger on the table than I am.
Is this a new thing? Huh? Do we all need to sit on the table?
Sure.
I've danced on tables. That was fun.
Good. It's nice. It's good. I got Slane rolled a 21.
So you had a swig too?
Yeah.
You're fine. This is like mother's milk. So you're like, oh yeah, this is familiar. Probably something the grandmothers had in their kitchen anyways to distill things. So you're kind of like, yep, just doesn't have a lavender fragrance or flavor to it.
Yeah.
But you're familiar enough with it where you're kind of like, ooh, takes the edge off. Did anyone else roll to see how they were affected? 5.
To be fair, they have only ever drank mead before too. So
Oh, that's right. We're the teetotaler. So, Ail, as you take a swig of this, it's strong, and you, similar to Mama Rihanna, you kind of get like this feeling in the back of your throat, and it's not warmth; it's like the fire burning down your throat feeling. And you feel yourself coughing a little bit, and your eyes are watering, and you even feel like this tingling in your sinuses from the intensity of this alcohol as it enters your system. And you kind of give a couple of, tight blinks and try and shake it off, and you realize that shaking your head kind of gives you this wah, wah, wah feeling. And the room, it's not that the spin is rooming level, but the room is definitely kind of got a floaty feel to it if you've moved too quickly. And then Maurice doesn't drink, so what did Maurice just sort of enjoy the show?
Maurice is watching, but anytime no one's looking at him, he kind of glances back towards the hallway where the exiled antler horns are hanging. And he's just still thinking about that vision.
Okay.
Right, so there's a slight catch to this. It's going to take a little bit of time to make this thing.
how much time?
20 days?
Okay, 20 days. Yeah, that's doable, I suppose. 20 days, is it going to attack us every night?
20 days
Well,
is
I mean-
forever.
Well, the other thing is we can talk to grandmother about it.
Oh, yeah. She left, so I don't know where she went.
She said she'd be back. She plans to be back. She wants to make
she
sure
is.
that Gypsophilia is okay.
By grandmother, you mean not Baba Yaga.
Yes, Baba Yaga.
Oh, Baba Yaga.
Yes.
I don't
Slade's
know how I feel
grandmother.
about this plan.
Metaphorical,
She has a way of, playing with time.
She's all about grandmothers, really, if you think about it.
She's everywhere.
Mhm.
Whether you want her to be or not,
Not.
Gervain. Oh, yes. Dear boy. Dear boy. Oh.
So what's the catch then?
Making sure it all goes to plan. Making sure we have
Wait.
the other end of the balance.
Did Slang just ask, what's the catch?
I might have spaced out, but Mom
Hey,
Mariana was
buddy. We're learning. I'm
Yeah.
all about that. That's a
It's
great
fun.
question.
There's always a catch, Gervain. I just thought, it'd be, later on. Also, we're still alive, and I think that's worth something.
Here's to being alive.
And I grab the bottle again, and I take another drink.
Should mix it with oats and a raw egg so you're ready to go next time.
So what's this whole balance end?
Well, if we're going to have something from the good, well, let's just make it slightly easier. The whole good and evil. So the good side we can take care of. That's a sacrifice of druidic powers. Let's call it that. And we just need to make sure we have something vampiric to shove in the hole.
Okay, wait. Something vampiric to shove in the hole. What
Yes,
hole
take the
are we
place of the other
shoving?
vampire. Well, we have.
Uh,
There's kind
Can
of two
I-
options right now. Can you?
Secretly, V, the dungeon master.
Uh-huh.
Can I correlate something that I own in my possession with the thing that they're talking about currently?
Certain thing you
Am
were
I
given
bridging
earlier.
Yeah, am I bridging that gap?
Honestly, a gap I hadn't considered. Ooh. Have you revealed? You haven't revealed to them entirely what it does, have you?
Nope.
Nope. I'm gonna leave that up to you and your PC. What do you think they would do? Sorry, just for Jesse's comment in our chat.
So Mariana's still right there, right?
Oh, you are sitting at the table, and you are all at this point, except for Maurice. Maurice is sort of enjoying the show and fixating on his visions, which he hasn't shared yet either.
Mama Mariana.
What?
Hey.
Hi!
If we finish this, can I still get my freedom, like, if we complete this ritual, or are we still stuck here? Like, what's the deal here?
I think the deal is you're supposed to help out a little bit beyond this. You're protecting the one shard that's in Gypsophilia.
Is it a step towards freedom?
Probably yes would be a safe bet, yeah.
Sure. Okay. Well then, hey everybody. You know this sweet little spear that I have? Well, I don't know if you've noticed, when I fight with it in battle, sometimes hurting my enemy and making them bleed makes me feel better, gives me a little bit of a boost, and I kind of act up. I don't know if I need to sacrifice this thing from some sort of vampiric clause that we need to complete.
Secrets, huh?
Yeah, what if it's slain?
No, I like secrets. I think it's juicy, man. That's really cool.
Yeah. I mean, you're pretty
Wait.
juicy. Yeah, sure.
So your spear drinks blood to make you feel better? Is that what you're saying right now?
I mean,
Yeah, it's been helping us out, so...
yeah, I mean, Gervain's like, you're such a badass fighter, you know? So I figured this is making you better. Is it the spear or is it you, Gervain? Like, give him a good look. When was the last time I saw you in direct sunlight?
Yesterday.
Yeah, like 5 minutes ago outside the battle.
Ah, and so is Dracera, and she's a vampire too.
Okay,
she's a
so
vampire.
Where did you
Jermaine-
get this spear?
They gave it to me, the people from the Grove. It's when we got a couple of things. Finium gave it to me.
Yep. Little backseat told you that it has been something within the Grove's possession for quite a while before they don't even remember when it got to them, how it got to them. It's basically something that's been with them since they can recall in their own written history. So this is something that has been a persistent part of the Grove for quite a while. And thank you so much, is that Bullfrog? For the
Bullfrog!
subscribing. Yay! Thank you so much. So you have, a pretty old spear of magic.
Zira, since you're sitting next to me, you'll probably notice that my eyes are super dilated, and maybe that my skin's a little bit, like a hair paler. It's very hard to tell, but you'd at least see that my eyes were pretty dilated at the moment.
Gervain, does the spear affect you like normally? Is it something you can let go of?
I think so. I mean, it does affect me, but it only affects me for that day until I sleep it off, and it only happens when I guess the spear drinks it, then I drink it, so that's the only time that affects me.
When
What
you
does
say
it?
drink,
What?
can you taste it?
No, not like that. The spear
Okay.
does, and then I feel it through the spear.
Gotcha.
I was gonna say I don't think I've ever seen you lick your spear.
I fight the urge sometimes, sure.
So you're telling us you have a drinking problem?
I mean, in more than one ways.
And I'll drink I'll drink whatever alcohol again.
Okay.
Gervain has fascinating as this revelation has been, from what I'm understanding from Mama Rihanna, we need a good deal more power than a walking stick with an appetite. I believe we have all the pieces that we need in front of us. We have a vampire
Just trying to be
who is a
useful.
druid. And I appreciate that, I do. But frankly, it's doing a fantastic job of keeping you alive with us. I don't see why we should sacrifice your trinket when we have the answer in front of us.
Well, it's here if we need it, so that's all I'm saying.
That's very
So
noble.
sacrifice a person over things is what you're saying, Maurice.
That's not a person anymore.
Exactly. I'm saying take back the evil that came out of that rock and use it to plug a hole.
My guess is that the mist created her. Made her what she is now. So, rather than trying to catch lightning in a bottle, perhaps do away with the mist itself. But take Drosera. She's already lost to the clan. She's already lost to this grove. She's either going to be exiled or killed. Well, done away with. She's already she's dead. So, yes. But you know what I mean.
And thank you, by the way, to the Lunatic Dungeon Master for a subscription.
Yes, Sierra.
I'm just going with the plan.
You will? What's your concern?
What would she do if she was just exiled? What would happen in forest?
You're letting loose a vampire into the Margreave.
I mean, would she still be a vampire if
I
we
can't.
trap the other one or destroy it?
From what I could
Vampires
tell,
don't
Go ahead,
exactly
Lawrence.
have a lot in common with dominoes, Lane. I'm afraid knocking one over isn't going to make the rest of them fall down.
Yeah, I mean, she can walk. Like maybe you're walking in the sun. Maybe she's not a full vampire. You know, I don't know much about it because I'm not 6th level yet. I'm taking that feat.
Let's just like through that wall. You know.
Yeah, I just I've heard things. I don't know how vampires work though.
I
Just
mean,
kind of-
That's kind of my point. I don't either. If the clan, for whatever reason, decides to exile her instead of the other thing, I mean, if they're gonna do the other thing, then that makes sense. I mean, she's dead. She's dead. Does it matter?
Undead, which is several degrees worse than just being dead.
Oh yeah, certainly. I
Sorry.
guess it's all predicated on her being cured. I guess what I would want.
I've been
Very
drinking.
fine.
Who are we talking about?
The trainer
we're talking
LC
about
vampire.
Drosera,
Just Sarah.
the maiden gone bad.
Sure.
Would I have known anything? Would I have noticed anything about Drosera, especially the conditions I was going through, if she was going similar conditions?
You probably, yes, you would have noticed. You would have noticed similar quirks of your own, except they were extremely heightened with her.
Okay.
Her eyes were fully blackened out. Her skin was extremely pale.
Mhm.
She wasn't exactly bleeding or injured, like not profusely. It was sort of like trickling out a little bit, but it wasn't running like fresh blood.
Gotcha.
It
It's
was
more,
more
yeah.
coagulated and old.
I figured Gervain would game recognize game. He'd be like, "All right, I see you."
Yeah, and the second you would have seen that arrow that Faye shot through her heart and see her freeze up that way, that sort of would have sealed the deal for you that this is, it wasn't a stake through the heart type of thing, but it was a piece of wood going through the heart enough to paralyze her.
Got it. Okay.
I think Jasera is probably experiencing the same things I am at a really high level.
Well, if she had an ancient lady vampire turn her into a vampire. before turning into that mist.
Mm-hmm.
She's imbued
So the
with
plan
knowledge.
is, so the plan is then we take your Vila essence and use that
Yes.
to counteract the wickedness of the vampire that we used in the ritual, and that's going to trap the mist back in the tube.
Or at least it adds balance back into what was done before.
Right.
I think at this point, the mist we're going to need to do away with. Mists are killer. Mists are... You can get rid of them.
Yes, yeah.
It
So,
won't be easy, but we can try and defeat it.
right.
I think it's more important that we have the... Because that's not really a vampire anymore. That's something else entirely.
Yeah, my plan was to put it in bellows and then empty the bellows into holy water.
Yes, but my dear, it can phase itself back through things, is the issue.
Yeah, I figured the bellows would need to be enchanted. That's sort of a hiccup.
Big hiccup. So... We have a vampire. Hopefully. We've left Finium alone a little bit too long, perhaps. We have a vampire in our custody. Which
Right.
means if it is just a matter of keeping an arrow shoved in her once beating heart, the 20 days may not be so finicky. They were going to do something to that girl regardless if she was still a living, breathing Elseed.
And you see her look over to that hallway with the 3 antlers on display.
And that would not have been a good life, all said and done. Or they are going to take what she has become now and do away with it entirely.
Seems the most practical solution is we take one undead bird and kill 2 stones.
Yeah. I mean, if she's truly undead, then it's no question, Like, you can't just let them run around. That's bad for everybody.
Yes, I don't exactly want to have to keep wearing a garlic scarf.
Yeah.
Although that's really more myth than anything else. Perhaps it may help if you take a look and get a feel for what she is now. Javane, this may be where your knowledge might come in handy.
Yeah. I mean, are we going to visit this prisoner then?
Well, it's up to you. I mean, she's back there. She's in a holding cell. I don't know if they've taken the arrow out. I would hope they wouldn't. But
Maybe in the morning when I'm a little bit clear-minded, the battle, the drinking, the other drinking, probably not the best time for me right now.
all
I
right,
think we've done enough drinking.
Well, I am not one to criticize what is imbibed. Well, unless it's not
Right.
good for you. Well, hold on. Unless it's poison, let's put it that way.
Right, okay.
It's been a morning, for sure.
hmm
I don't blame any of you if you want to sort of, give yourselves a rest through the day.
I would. I mean, I'm good with that. Everyone else, unless there's more battle to be done today. I feel like talking through things, getting ourselves put together, feeling fresh tomorrow, and being more on the ball is probably better tomorrow. I feel like a couple of us have been drinking. Me,
Yeah? Yes?
Zira,
Yes. Me?
even you. You, of course, the fabulous you.
Always. Always. Keep in mind, my dear Javane. Remember, those of that ilk like to come out at night and play. You may not have tomorrow.
Oh, great. Okay, sure. Let's do this. Whenever you folks are ready, I'm so ready.
Just keep in mind, it's still earlier morning because you got out
Right.
break of day. So it's about, at this point, let's say 10:30 in the morning. So you feasibly could sleep this off. If that's what
And
you want
then
to do.
Rested for the night.
Yeah.
Okay, Okay, so what do we want to do, folks? Because I can go either way. I can keep charging, or we can rest.
I mean, I got the impression that the Crimson Mist is going to come to us, and if we could spend the day getting ready for it, that'd be best.
Yeah, she made it clear before dissipating into the distance that she intended to come back when she was at full power, because she was cringing and not thrilled about the fact that daylight had broken type of situation. She was standing on the edge of the forest, still in the tree-lined shadows, so daylight couldn't necessarily touch her.
And so what were her sort of like the minions with her? They weren't more of those bilious elementals, were they? They were the plant, the shadow plant things?
Yeah, they were the shadow blight type of things.
Okay.
And the Bilwis, they were, so those were done away with, those are gone.
Okay. Just trying to think of ways that we could make it more defensible. I could make a huge pile of dirt, if that'll help. There's no plants or anything nearby. Listen, don't discount a pile of dirt.
No one's discounting it. You're the one who's discounting yourself. I mean, it's a good start.
Someone laughed.
No one laughed, man. Is that an ear?
You hearing voices, like?
Yeah.
You look over and see Zira, like, covering her face, like, clearly laughing underneath her hands.
I'm gonna do a small little love tap in the back of Zira's head, just like a little tiny one.
But it's like we can't create like
face.
dead ground where the plants wouldn't cross or something. That's kind of what Slains has in mind, but he didn't want to.
Slain wants to salt the earth.
I just put it forth as an idea, not like I was going to do it. He takes me too seriously. He sulks.
Well, I'd like some time to myself to pray, if that's all right.
Yeah.
Have some things that need thinking about, and sometimes the best way to think is to do it out loud while talking to a god.
If it's just morning, Slain hasn't had a daytime sleep in a long time, so we'll go find a sunny spot and take a nap.
Okay.
As they're walking away, I want to grab Gervain's forearm and indicate that I want him to stay till everybody's gone.
What?
Are you a vampire? I don't understand what you were saying.
No, I am. Let's just say, right now with the spear, vampire adjacent. Just think. Adjacent twice removed.
What did you mean when you were talking to Mama Rihanna about your freedom?
This place has trapped us in. I don't know if you've noticed. Baba Yaga, Mama Rihanna, Slain, Pumpkin Jack. They've all been keeping us in contracts and clauses to keep us here. It sounds at the moment that we can't reasonably leave if we decide. Well, if I decided, I don't know if there's a we, but if I got on Little Czar and decided to just keep pushing west and leaving, doesn't sound like I can get out. That's what I mean.
All right. Do you want to leave?
It's not the issue of really leaving. It's just the issue of we cannot. If it was a can, I wouldn't have an issue. I would stay here because it's of my own volition. But because it sounds like we are stuck here, not within our control, I especially want to leave.
Earlier when you were talking, your eyes and your skin, what changed? What was up with that?
It's kind of been like that. I've just been staying in the back of everyone, or not. No one's been paying attention. Because everyone's usually focused on what Slane's doing, what Maurice is doing, what Shreg is doing. So I just kind of blend in like I usually do. It wasn't until we just had the conversation I think anyone noticed.
So that's the spear? That's not you?
I think it's the spear, yeah. It's only been happening since I've gotten it.
And you don't think the spear is going to retaliate if it has control of you and you try to sacrifice of it?
I don't think so.
What if it tries to take part of you when we sacrifice it?
I mean, honestly, at this point, if it gives you folks your ticket to freedom, then I'm okay with it.
I don't think I'm okay with it.
Well, I hate the premise of all of us being stuck here. And of course, I obviously want to leave. But if it comes down to just either me having to make a sacrifice so everyone else could at least leave, then I think I'm okay with it.
I guess the decision's yours, but I think we need to talk to Mama about if something will happen, if the spear can take part of you.
I'm confused. Did we just talk about this and, like, decide a thing?
You're drunk, AOL. Go home.
What are you saying? I can't.
Just kidding. I'm worried that the spear has control of him and will take part of him. I just want to make sure he's okay with it.
I mean, honestly, it sounds like the majority of folks here are happy to stay here. Don't take this the wrong way, but if me being taken away means that you get to leave, Zira, then I guess that works, because you're the only one who seems to not want to be here.
Except we already made a pact. We're leaving together.
Okay, well...
Let's
we'll
just
see.
be careful.
Sure.
And I don't know if I have the possession of the bottle. I don't know who has the possession of the bottle. If I have to find something.
There were bottles on that table.
Sure,
And
I take another
had
swig.
scuttled off. Yeah, so Mama had scuttled off to go and check on Gypsophilia and make sure she was doing all right, was stable enough at least. Maurice had gone off to do his prayers and meditation type of stuff. AOL, you probably were sort of in this drunken daze, sort of sitting off in the distance where you heard them talking about something. You picked up on things. However, you were not off the track, so to speak. You were very much aware of the fact that it's not going to be a spear involved. It's looking more like Sarah is going to be the key to the evil side of the sacrifice. So your interjecting was your sort of coming to and like, no, wait, we had a different plan. This is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Gervain, as the conversation ends after he takes his swig, he's going to give a small pat to the back right shoulder of Zira and like do a little press, like just a press massage of just like a quick second, just like saying like, you know, happy that we're companions and going through this. And then I'm going to make a quicker pace and put a little bit of distance between us and keep going forward.
Okay, so you go off into the room to sleep it off?
Yeah.
Okay. AOL, what are you doing?
I was gonna see those two need to sit down and eat some pie together.
Damn it, I wish Mama had been sitting there for that one.
Ain't no pie, folks. Ain't no pie.
Ain't no pie.
Ain't no
We're gonna have pie.
Come get your pie, honey.
Oh God, no! Damn it!
That's
I'm
on
gonna
you,
give.
B.
Hi, that's me. That's a me. I pulled a me.
I'm
So,
gonna
all
hand
right.
AOL another bottle as I walk past her.
Okay.
Sure.
So, it's essentially everyone's just sort of like hunkering down, taking their morning siesta type of situation. All right.
This thing's gonna nap in the sun like a cat.
Cool.
Maybe on
And there's a couple of sunny areas you could definitely get yourself comfortable and sort of soak up the sun and get some extra vitamin D in your sleep. So no one really is going to be going out and doing much. Maurice, you have, what is it, 4 hours, correct? As a Gear Forge?
Yes.
Yes. So, and ill, same for you, correct? Right. So the two of you have a little bit of extra time to play around with while the other three are recuperating, rejuvenating,
Basically getting their HP back up.
what do you think you'd be doing with the extra time you'd have on either end?
Probably very well, at least a bit of recovery.
Okay.
Oh, hey, what? Oh?
Maurice would make his way back to that same little hallway and kneel down, roll out his pray mat, and probably start praying, to be honest.
All right. So, uh-oh, do we lose the headphones?
Headphone issues, they're fun.
So, AOL, I have a feeling you'd probably be sitting there. You unplugged himself.
Here we go.
Magic!
One of those annoying bifurcated headsets. But yeah, so once he's in the hallway, essentially he would kneel down and start disassembling himself, as always, very meticulously. But as he does, he would be praying to Kespotan. And every time he takes out a component, he would just kind of say one thing at a time. God of knowledge, of prophecy, of the mountains, of the earth, of memory and souls. Also the God of metal and resolve. It's been a little while since you chose to give me your blessing. I'll be honest, I was a little concerned it wasn't coming around, but here we are. Now, of course, being that you are the God of all things, memory, questions, knowledge, prophecy, you know what I'm going to ask. But as a faithful and devoted servant, I'm going to ask it anyway. I need to know if you can show me a sign as to whether or not sacrificing this vampiric ale seed is the best path I can take to try to keep my friends safe. And as he does that, he will cast Augury with a 3rd level spell slot.
Okay. So,
Sorry,
it has been a while.
2nd level spell slot, not 3rd.
2nd level. Okay. So as you cast this, it has been a while since you have spoken with this particular god for one reason or another. Perhaps your path just hasn't wound your way towards them in a while for reasons. And as you're sitting there in this significant hallway, it's actually a hallway that seems to be avoided by every single L-seed possible. In fact, you can see things like dust is collected on these old antlers. It's not a place that's cared for. It's the basic upkeep, if anything. There are cobwebs in the corners. There are dust motes floating around. As you move, you stir up further ones. It almost seems like at times there are dustings of snow falling through the sunbeams that are coming through, when it's really just particles of dust. And you sit there patiently waiting for a response. And you notice things are very quiet and very calm all of a sudden. And you get this sense of peace and satisfaction in a way. Sort of that discovery when you found that little bit of information you know is exactly what you needed after leafing through a very thick tome. And you notice the dust motes start to swirl around and look almost like a form. You can't quite place it though. It's not humanoid, but it seems almost pillar-like. And it breaks apart as it falls out of the sunbeam.
Maurice will just kind of nod. Thank you for taking the time to send me, lowly sir, such a clear message. Praise Kespetan. And then he'll just kneel and remain there until everyone else wakes up.
Okay. Excellent. So Aol, you have probably been sitting there sort of woozy-ish. And it's one of those things where you're going to have Mama Mariana coming back out, and she finds you sitting at the table. Everyone else is gone. And you're kind of doing that little side-to-side sway with a smile on your face. You might even be humming a little bit, like not even realizing
definitely.
you're doing it. Just sort of, you're feeling your liquor, and you're feeling a little bit warmed up.
Feeling
and
fine.
I'm in love with her and I'm feeling fine. There's your song. Bonus points if anyone remembers that song is Spy. So she comes over to you and she actually stands in front of you and she kind of just starts swaying with you. So as you tip to your right, she sort of sways to her left and mirrors what you're doing.
Oh, well.
Uh-huh.
How are you, my dear?
I'm good.
Obviously. How many fingers am I holding up, dear?
8.
Okay. She just sort of like giggles a little bit.
Oh, my. Unlike me, you're not exactly familiar with this type of beverage, are you?
No.
No? No. Oh, dear. Perhaps we need to get you just to rest a little bit. What do you think? Unless there's something you want to talk about. Why did you think you could...
Me.
That's what I was wondering. You have lots of thoughts in that head of yours, don't you?
It doesn't stop.
Sort of the perpetual run around. I know what that's like. How about you and I make a little agreement? I have a feeling the forest chose you for very good reasons.
Should I be
You're
careful?
coming... Why, I'm not my mother. I definitely won't be my mother after this sacrifice thing is done and I shift my powers over to the golem. You're coming into your powers, while mine will start fading out. Perhaps you and I could work together and I can get you better phrased in the druidic ways.
Spell.
Doesn't quite spell anything. You're getting there.
Slight interruption. The joys of motherhood.
It says you aren't getting anything.
Good job.
I love it.
What do you say? Maybe I could get you learning some tricks of the trade? And you could really do this for us some service.
That'd probably be helpful. What
Yes.
about my patron?
Well, that could be an interesting conversation. Let's give it some thought. We might have to address that. Oh, please, dear God, let's address it after we take care of this situation first. I don't think Gervain will take kindly to someone else popping in and saying hello and there's another obligation brought up.
Not what I... Nope.
Not at all. He might blow a gasket. No, that would be Maurice. He might
What's a
blow
gasket?
something. It's part of the workings of a piece of machinery.
Okay.
Okay. All right, yeah, let's get you, please.
And she's going to sort of help you stand up. And for one so diminutive, she's actually got a lot of strength to her hands, and she kind of hoists you up more than anything else. And she'll carefully guide you back to the sleeping quarters where you all have been. And she'll get you sort of tucked in for a little bit. And she puts a big pitcher of water next to you. And she pulls up the covers and makes sure you're tucked in. And she'll kind of look over and see that Zira and Gervain have tucked in already and kind of do the same thing even though they're in a deeper sleep. And she'll draw the curtain so it's a nice sort of twilight lighting inside the room because the sun is out, but again, it's a stormy looking afternoon at this point. And she'll close the door quietly and you feel yourself falling into the usual ease and relaxation right before you drift off a little bit into your meditation. And you will wake up refreshed and everything like that. So for all of you, you are able now to reset. We're going to consider this a long rest so that everyone is
Back up to their full fighting figures.
So who would be the first to wake up? Do you think?
Yeah, boy.
Ya boy? All right, ya boy.
Gonna get up, see that Zara's still there, cuddled with me. I'm gonna kind of nudge him over to indicate that I'm awake and he should get up. Let's see. It's probably like 6-7 p.m. correct? At this
Yeah,
time?
it's about 6 o'clock at this point, and a little bit after 6. And the sun is starting to set, and you can tell because the room is now darkened with the shades having been drawn, the curtains having been drawn. It's a darker environment that you're waking up in. Certainly not the early day-ish light you had fallen asleep to. And you can see that there's light peeking out underneath the door, leading into the main area.
Sorry, buddy. You hungry? I'm hungry. I can definitely get something to eat after all that.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try and see if I could find some sort of some sort of grove chef, some sort of anything, just to kind of get my mind right, get my body right. Just trying to get something to eat.
Give me a stealth check and see how quietly you get up in the dark after sleeping and having been drinking.
Bruh.
Bruh. Aw.
Bruh. That is a 4.
That's a
good
4. Dude,
Mhm,
that's
mhm.
not good.
Oh.
So, as you get up from the bed, you forgot that you're on the top bunk.
Mm-hmm.
So even though Zara is able to sort of just leap down onto the ground quietly on their pads, and also because of what they are, you sort of swing your legs over and go to stand, and you drop. And you kerplunk onto the floor right next to Zira, who's been sleeping on the bottom bunk. So Zira, you awake and you see Gervain is up. You're muted.
You're
my dear.
muted.
I'm gonna laugh at him.
Oh, you're up too. Cool.
I wouldn't
I'm
be
gonna
up if you weren't so clumsy.
Fought a little hard yesterday, drank a little hard, drank a little hard.
Fell
I'm
a
gonna
little
get some
hard.
good. That too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Find me some
Well-
food too.
I was planning on it.
And yep, go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, Aol is
me
also
and-
in the same room. So Aol, you would have heard Gervain falling out of the top bunk because he woke up and forgot he was on the top bunk. So that would have waken you, or at least pulled you out of your meditation and sleep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go out and try and find some sort of grow chef, whatever.
Okay. All right. So you open the door, and the torch lights from the main area of the hall spill into the room, and it fills the room with a warm, soft glow. It's not a fully lit room, but there's now light in that room, and you can see that Slain definitely has not camped out there. He had fallen asleep in a spot of sun last you saw him. So Zira and Aoel, that leaves the two of you sort of getting yourselves pulled together. Again, you know it is now early evening. You've definitely passed most of the day away at this point. And you can hear with the door open now, clanking and clunking. It sounds like something's happening out on the table area. So Gervain, if you're going full throttle out the door, you would see that they have already started setting up something for food. And you can see that there's this spread already on the table.
Do I see like a helper or a servant or what? Like any sort of person who's kind of helping put all this stuff together?
Give me a perception check.
Oh, sure. Finally, a natural 20.
Okay, perfect.
When it counts.
So, when it counts, when you want to find a helper. So you get out there and you see at the other side of the table there is an Elseed who's sort of making sure each plate gets an extra roll and that type of thing. They're kind of making sure the little details are taken care of for when everyone sits down to start eating, that everything's there as needed. And they are basically, typical Elseed. They have the deer form on the bottom, and this is more of a dappled fawn-like pattern on their coats. You can tell they must be younger. A little bit more on the lanky side, and their face is angular, and they have these green eyes that sort of tip up at the sides, and this spiky tuft hair of a ruddy brown, and antlers that have 4 points on them.
Hey, so I see that whatever chef or person that you have making the food knows how to make pie.
Do you want something in particular as opposed to
Yes.
just okay?
All right,
You want
so
pie?
a specific one that I've found in my journeys that I think he could recreate because he has a pretty good hand in pie. I would like what is known as a Hitchhiker Pie. Essentially, it's just some golden flaky crust with either fruit or breakfast in the middle of it. We might be out on a couple of days' journey, and I know that's something that gets us going as a group a lot, is having these little treats on the road. So if you can somehow tell the chef to make some sort of Hitchhiker Pie,
And then I'll slip them like 15 gold to like ask if they can ask the chef to make Hitchhiker Pie.
Okay. Give me a... Let's do persuasion or performance.
This is at disadvantage because persuasion or performance? This is probably disadvantage because we haven't traveled since the last day we rested, right?
You have not.
From the last
Nope.
time.
You have not.
Well, F. Disadvantage. Okay. I mean, I like that.
Okay.
So performance or let's just say it's 17. Yeah, it's 17 across. Yeah.
Okay. So you're able to... They're taking in the description of the recipe. But they kind of raise their eyebrow at you when they see that you've put gold into their hand. I'm sorry, but your money is no good here. You do realize that, right? You
Okay,
take this back. I
what-
don't need it.
sorry, I think it'd be really special for our group, so that's why I'm asking for it.
You're helping out our clan. I think we can make accommodations without having to worry about the trading of coin.
All right, can you make like a dozen of each, like the breakfast and a dozen of the fruit? It'd be really good.
I'll go and speak to them about it right now, and we'll see if we can get these pies for you put together. But you don't want them specifically for dinner, right? You want these for
No,
later?
Travel. Yeah.
Travel. Okay, so I'll go ask them to make a Hitchhiker Pie.
Perfect.
All right, then if you want to take a seat, the food's going to be coming out soon. And they'll actually put a extra roll in your hand as they go back into the kitchen area. So at this point, Slain and Maurice, what would the two of you be doing? Because you sort of based yourselves out into the main hall itself, so you would have seen the activity picking up and hearing people moving around for you, Slain, in your sleep.
Yeah, I mean, I think Slain, I don't know that he'd have a 16-hour sleep. So I think he probably woke up in the middle
It wouldn't
of the
be
day.
a 16-hour sleep. It'd be 8 tops.
Well, because we'd had one when we, right before we fought, right? Like in the early morning?
You woke up in the morning, yeah. You woke up in the morning and started into battle right away. So this is sort of like a glorified siesta.
Gotcha. He's going to just like nap. If there's a grove, like a druid grove, they've got a sacred tree or something, he'll nap there. Otherwise, he might go for a swim. Like vampires come in the night. He's going to take some time to like relax and enjoy himself. And then I don't know. Whenever he wakes up, get something to eat and hang around. But he'd prefer to stay outside as much as possible.
Okay, so you would have been outside for a while, and eventually had gotten some rest enough where you can reset yourself and get ready for the next go around. And give me a perception. Because you would have tucked yourself out, because if you were out swimming in the lake, that would have put you near the shrine of Hulda. So you very easily could have gone swimming and then sort of tucked yourself up near Hulda's shrine. That's about as druidic, sacred place you're going to get there in the grove.
Gotcha. That is a 23.
23. Perception. All right, so you actually wake up to the sound of the pounding of hooves. And it's not the lighter impact that you've grown used to from the Elseed. These sound weighty. They sound aggressive. They don't have the same cantering cadence as an Elseed would have. The stride almost seems a little bit longer and covering more distance between strides based on your tracking skills as a ranger.
First thing Slain will ask himself is he dreaming? He'll do something, pinch himself or something.
Okay, so you pinch yourself?
Yeah.
All right, the pinch, it reassures you. You're awake. You've woken at this point. The light has grown dim. It's sort of twilight out at this point. It's dusk at this point. Yeah. So the sun is disappearing in the crest of the trees, and the stars are starting to peek out on the opposite side. The sky almost has a purplish pink hue to it.
All right, so I'm going to see if I can find out what's making this thunderous hoofed noise.
Absolutely. So if you start looking around, you will see in the distance the shadow form of a rider on top of a very large steed coming in through what is essentially the main entrance of the grove, cantering up towards the longhouse area. And if you wanted to, you could probably intercept them before they got to the longhouse themselves, if you so choose, based upon when you spotted them in the distance to cover.
And they look like they have ill intent?
It looks like they're approaching with... It's not that they're aggressive, it looks like they're approaching with... why am I blanking on the word? They want to get to the longhouse for reasons. They have purpose.
I mean,
you don't see anything like weapons drawn or anything like that, but you see that they are driven to get to the longhouse.
Okay, so Slane's going to follow. He doesn't care if he's seen, or he's not like going to purposely make noise, but he's also not trying to be stealthy. Come up straight behind him. He's got hatchet in his hand, but not like it's just down by his side.
Okay, you wouldn't really be able to catch them up from behind because from where they're approaching and how you're coming down from the area of the shrine, you'd intersect face to face, quite frankly. There'd be no way to sneak up behind them.
I'll just stand in the road then and wait for him to come.
All right, so I love this picture. We have Slain sort of standing there, axe in hand, all trilkined out and just sort of sup. Is that essentially the feeling we're getting from
Yeah.
Slain? Is that our
Basically.
energy? Okay.
Yeah.
So, Slain, as you stand there waiting for this rider to get closer, you're able to do another. You can do instigation, not instigation, investigation or insight.
Okay, I can instigate if
Do
you want.
instigation.
Do I need to make a roll?
That would be a fun one, actually. That's what we need to keep in mind for Gervain and Zero when they're fighting.
Right.
So either investigation or insight check.
Gotcha. I think for Slain, the insight makes sense, and he is going to see what he can't glean from that.
All right.
And I think this is worthy of calling on my ancestors, the Night Whisper Trollkin, and get advantage. Boom! That is a 24.
Okay. So, I love the fact you just tapped into the ancestors. As you're watching this figure approach, you notice that it's a beautiful steed. It's a large horse. It is all black, and it is powerful. It is muscular. The tips of its mane have almost what looks like silver. So it fades from a dark black into a silver at the tips. Same thing for the tail. You honestly can't tell much detail on the horse itself outside of when light catches a rippling muscle or a gloss of the tack. And you see, as your eyes go further up, the rider. They too are in a dark black cloak pulled up and over their head. The cloak is flapping behind them, but every so often you do get the sense that there is someone else behind them, just based on how the cloak is billowing. You can tell that someone is holding the front rider around the waist, but they must be shorter because you can't see them over the shoulder. Gotcha. And you can't see the eyes, you can't see the nose because of the cloak as they get closer, but you do see the jawline, and you can tell that this is a man astride a dark black horse wearing all black. And in the back of your head, you remember the stories your grandmothers told you of Baba Yaga's horsemen.
Mm-hmm.
You have your white, you have your red, you have your black.
Right. Black
and
I was
you
trying to
see
remember which one it is.
Sorry, you want to see correct there? You want to see which one it is?
I'm just I can't stop thinking out loud. Sorry, this is Jim
Oh
Davis.
no, it's totally.
DM.
Oh, this is the meta mode. You're being meta man as opposed to meta man.
Yeah, too much self-talk. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, no, it's totally fine. So you just remember the stories of the red, the white, and the black knight, and in the back of your mind, you hear Dark Midnight sort of whispered in your grandmother's voices as they would tell you stories before you went to bed. And as this figure approaches you, they definitely don't keep pursuing as if to run you over. In fact, you see him pull on the reins and the horse slows down and they stop right in front of you. And the horse just sort of gives a quick little and impatiently stomps its hooves more because it's upset that it had to stop. And you hear a voice from behind the rider. Well, Slain, I didn't expect to see you out here already. What's going on, my dear?
Just, keeping watch and grabbing a nap.
Well, you got a good sleep?
Yeah, I feel really rested.
I've been told you had quite a fight this morning, my darling. And you can see peeking out from around the shoulder a young woman with large brown eyes and long dark hair sort of braided to the side with a very generous smile and rosy cheeks. I thought it'd be fun to sort of arrive and show off my new little knight. What do you think of him?
Oh, yeah, no, he's really, what's his name? What can I call
you
you?
know him. Darling Slain, you know this one. And she's going to tug back the hood of the cloak. And tell you what, why don't you give me a perception check on this one. See if you recognize him before she has to say anything.
That is going to be a 28.
Damn.
Yes.
So as this cloak pulls up, it's almost as if seeing more of the face revealed to you, everything clicks into place. And you realize that who you see sitting in front of you is Rurik, except he's looking far healthier than what? Michael! Far healthier than when he left with her.
Oh, nice. So I guess he took up the oath in exchange for a cure?
Well, yeah, I decided, he has the potential to be a tall, strapping young man, and as you can see, he's definitely strapping.
Yeah, I'm not jealous or anything, just curious is all.
No, of course, my dear. But,
and you see sort of Rurik give you a sardonic smile. Let's just say she had the means to make me a deal I couldn't exactly resist. So here I am.
Big mood,
But-
yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
Sorry, all right, well then, yeah, you're going to cause a bit of a stir. I guess I'll stay out here for a while, if that's okay. Keep watch.
of course, dear. Are they inside, all of them?
Yeah, I think Gervain just woke up. I heard him fall out of bed.
Excellent. I'm going to go in and say hello to everyone, and Rurik can make himself more comfortable again. You don't
Also-
mind watching. You don't mind keeping an eye on Nacht for us, do you?
Not
She
at all.
nods
Oh,
to the-
God. Yeah.
All right, so Rurik, he hopped off the horse first. And actually, this is a large horse, because even for you, Slain, this horse is a little bit taller than you are in terms of, they've got some hands on them, let's put it that way. So he hops down and picks her up off the back of the horse. And again, this is, full well, this is Baba Yaga, but she is in her form as Jalisa from the tavern where you all first encountered each other. And Rurik offers her his arm, and she tucks it in there. And you can tell she's enjoying playing this part of the attractive young woman with a handsome, strapping young man walking her into the longhouse. And as they're about to open the door, she leans over once again over her shoulder and kind of looks at you. What do you think, Schlein? Think they're going to know who's coming for dinner?
Yeah. I mean, it might take them a minute, but they're pretty paranoid and keyed up right now. So,
That's the best of moods, then.
that's how you stay sharp, Frosty.
Exactly. Well, my dear, don't forget you need to have some food too.
Yeah, no, that will be good. Yeah.
Nacht's good. She won't go too far. You can leave her just sort of, tied up along a post.
Oh yeah,
Don't
sure.
be a stranger. But I'll make my entrance and then you can come in.
Sounds good.
All right. So at this point,
And
the
he's
rest
actually
of you
going to
would
eat
have...
some dirt as she leaves because he's got the
Okay.
sustained by dirt thing going on.
Yep.
Just,
Yep.
Loamy soil.
I was wondering if you're going to pull out that trick from that hat. Okay. So, and actually, Nox, seeing you take a bite of dirt, she's going to put her head down and just start nibbling at the grass, sort of looking at you like, you can eat this too, and just sort of graze a little bit. And you see the doors open. What was that?
We'll have a snack together.
You'll snack on the dirt and the grass. There's an image, the trollkin and the horse. So as you're getting your little snack, I can't look at you right now, Michael. The doors start to open, and the rest of you are all sitting at the table at this point, getting some food. And so you all hear the doors open, and perception checks from all of you as you see these two shadowed figures backlit from the dusky light. Gervain?
7.
7. Huh. Eowyn.
9.
Maurice.
14.
14. Zira.
16.
16. All right, so Gervain, you sort of see these two figures standing in the backlight. For you, you're more concerned about food. You're like, okay, more people, whatever at this point. You didn't see any weapons flashing or anything like that. It just looked like maybe they're travelers or something. You really don't care. This food tastes really damn good, especially after you had your drink earlier in the morning. You're hungry. You want to kind of eat all the greasy, meaty food possible to get that last little residual hangover gone. You're more in that mode. Aelil, you're kind of following Gervain's example because yes, you got some rest, but there's a slight pounding left over in your head, and you're noticing he's grabbing the meat, he's grabbing everything that's laden with butter or dairy or something, and it seems to be helping him feel a little bit better. So you're starting to try and, partake of the same to see if it helps you. Maurice and Zira, as that door opens, you sort of get a sense of, these people are somewhat familiar to you. And then Zira, you're realizing that it is the figure of Riorik and that waitress from the tavern walking in as they step into the lighting of the longhouse. And Maurice, just a second afterwards, you notice the same thing.
Well,
And
it's
you
funny
hear-
seeing your faces here.
Why, darling, what on earth do you mean? Of course I'd come back. I wanted to show off my my new knight. Riorik's come to an agreement with me.
Oh, hell no. I'm not this right here. That, no, not about that.
Oh, I swear to God, someone please go back into former episodes and let's just put together all the nope clips from Gervain.
Do not want palation.
Do we get to know what kind of deal this is?
What do you mean? Do you
Well,
wanna
you
know
said
the
he's came
specifics?
to a... Well, what he's capable of, I guess.
Well, he's one of my knights, so he's with us from dusk till dawn. Aren't you, my darling Midnight? And you can see Riorik is standing there, and he's looking good. He's looking far better than even before when you first met him at the tavern. He is looking strong. He is looking clever. You can see there's some light behind his eyes now. And he's just standing there with this smile on his face, and he nods to you, Zira. Well, the agreement is very easy. It is just that instead of becoming a werewolf at night, I patrol the area for Baba Yaga.
Whatever, Baba Yaga, and whatever this is, whatever that, I would rather die. Just so you, I'm down to help you, but that right there, just kill me. Like that, love you, just not.
But don't kill him.
Maybe let's not be giving her any ideas, Gervain.
Gervain, she saunters up to you as Jaleesa, and she puts her hands.
Oh Lord,
down.
she coming.
Yeah, she's coming.
Yeah, what do you want to
She
do?
walks over to you, and she's very deliberate. She has this sway to her hips, and her eyes are flashing in their darkness. And there's no smile on her face, and she puts her hands down. One hand's on her hip, one hand's on the table, and she leans over to you. Gervain, my dear, what makes you think you're good enough to be one of my knights? And she leans back. But you're not making your cause any easier, my dear. Just because I'm not saying you're not good enough to be one of my knights doesn't mean that I can't keep you on my string a little bit longer because you're being a jackass.
Okay, fair. We're here to help. Enjoy some good food here.
I'm just gonna keep eating.
Oh, you better roll right now.
Oh
Your
no.
performance.
Oh no, Gervain, what are you doing? All right.
Mm-hmm.
She just backsass you.
10.
Whoa.
No, I think you're supposed to roll 4d6 like 6 times.
Oh, you dear boy. You are facing off and you just roll the 10. So you basically come at her with this attitude, and she leans back and she just gives you a look, and you see this sparking happen at her fingertips. And it reminds you of something you've seen Aol do. And she does this quick little motion and then points at you with an eyebrow raised. And you see this blast comes springing from her fingers. Does a 17 hit?
Yeah, it does.
All right. And you see this spark of deep, dark green. It's almost the color of evergreens that you see in the forest itself.
Uh-oh.
And she shoots you with an Eldritch Blast as if she would shoot towards a dog who is misbehaving. And she's basically whacking you across the nose with a newspaper.
Sure.
And you are going to take 4 points force damage as you feel this blast hit you squarely in your chest.
I like spit out some food, almost like try and catch myself from throwing up.
Good to see you too, Baba Yaga. It's good. I'm glad you're doing good.
You need to watch yourself, Javain. You have companions that can very easily take care of what it is I need help with.
Fair. Well then.
You want
I'm
out,
happy.
you've made that clear.
Mm-hmm.
But your attitude needs to shape itself up if you want to get out of here alive. Are we
Fair.
clear?
We're crystal now.
Excellent.
And she will walk away from you and actually heads off down towards the back of the longhouse. She's been here many times. She knows the layout. She knows who she wants to see. And you see Ryurik standing there just looking at you, and you get this very slow shake, Gervain, like that was not smart.
Is
What is
Baba Yaga
the-
still looking at me?
She's not looking at you, but she is Baba Yaga.
I'll look at him and I don't know, give a subtle rude gesture over to Riorik.
Oh, God, Gervain!
This is Gervain. This is not me. I wouldn't do this. I'm smart enough not to do this. This is not me.
And the dice are not liking you either.
No.
I think seeing this, ALL's probably gonna smack him on the arm like, what are you doing?
And I'm gonna elbow him in the
What's
ribs.
next to
Well,
him?
it would be like hip.
So you make this rude gesture towards Ryurik, and you hear this audible growl coming from his throat as he walks over to you, Gervain, and I need you to give me a strength saving throw.
God damn it. Okay, 13.
Oh, God damn it, Gervain. So, as you're making this gesture, before you can even stop making it, Ryurik, you hear this growl coming towards you and this flash of darkness as you feel a hand clench around your throat and lift you up out of your seat. And now you're looking into these dark flashing eyes of Ryurik. You need to remember where you are and who you are dealing with.
I'll just grab his arm and I'll just like say fine until he releases me. I don't know what's going on.
Maurice would like to kind of put a hand on Yurik's shoulder. And he's, I'm pretty sure we're standing about the same height, although I'm a little bit shorter in this form. And just kind of smile.
you're close enough.
Now, Riorik, he didn't mean anything by it. You know how it is with combat and high stakes and intense pressure. It gets the best of us sometimes. And, of course, as you said, Gervain should probably spend a bit more time taking into consideration who we're dealing with, but at the same time, I can't help but feel that on account of us being welcomed by Baba Yaga, I don't think she's too keen on us being roughhoused over something as childish as a little hand gesture. Wouldn't you agree?
Persuasion.
Ooh.
Oh no.
This is where we all die. 18.
Thank you, Jesus.
I answered to Maurice, actually, but that's okay.
Oh, that's
Okay.
right. Thank you, Maurice.
So as you, oh, come on, roll 20. They just did something fun to me. So as you do this, you basically, you see him sort of look at you, sidelong glance. And, oh, I know, Trello has it. And he is going to loosen his grip on Gervain's throat. So Gervain, you're actually able to breathe again. And he'll slowly set you down. Here we go. That's what I need. He slowly sets you down. Very slowly. You can still feel the pressure on your neck, though. And Maurice, he's going to look to you. This one needs to make sure he's learning his manners. That is all I'm going to say about this way. My job is now to protect Baba. It's part of our agreement. If he's going to harass her, then we're going to have problems. Are we clear?
Clear as crystal, my friend. Clear as crystal.
Excellent.
I'm gonna grab my plate and be like, gotta go feed Czar. And I'm just gonna grab my plate and leave and go back to the room where I left Czar and just not be a nuisance at the moment and tuck
Okay.
tail.
Okay. So it sounds like Gervain is learning his lesson a little bit. Oh, God.
I'm just
So all
gonna
of you-
like.
I was going to say, how do the rest of you
Side-
take this?
I'm gonna sigh deeply and like make eye contact with AOL and just kind of like, what is going on?
I don't know. I don't know what the fuck just happened there.
I'm just gonna stay out of it.
Yeah, I think that's probably best.
Yep. So, no one goes after Gervain to help him lick his wounds type of thing? Nope.
I
Okay.
feel like, Maurice would probably be somewhat half inclined, but at the same time, Gervain has not exactly been a stranger to going off on his own to bide his time, so he'd probably, he'd consider it, but then wouldn't.
Okay. So, basically, well, obviously, Maurice, you're not going to sit down to eat, but you can easily just sort of sit down to keep talking with your companions if you so choose. So, at this point, Slain, would you have come inside, or are you still staying outside with Nacht?
There's a part of me that's like, Slain. Gervain goes to open the door, and Slane's hand is like right there, like, like he heard all of it. But I think he's sharing a moment with a horse and
Okay.
enjoying a snack. Maybe he sees Gervain come out.
Gervain, did you go outside, or did you go back into the sleeping quarters?
Oh, I didn't. I guess I missed that part. Was it sleeping quarters?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. You're muted. The lips are moving, the sound's not hearing. Still muted. Hello.
Hello? Is this good?
Hello.
I
now
clicked
I
it
can
several
hear
times. No, yeah, I could go outside. If Czar was running around just as he wakes up, that probably
Okay,
would have been
so then,
fine.
All right, so then yeah, you would have encountered Slain.
I'm
I'm just gonna look. I'm gonna look at Slain, and I'm just gonna like look at him in pretty intense, sigh really hard, and shake my face, and go feed Czar.
I'll give you a few minutes. I'll cool down.
All right. So you're both sort of waiting outside now?
Yeah, he's just snacking with the horse. But, like, our enemy's supposed to come at night. Slane is just, like, getting used to the dark. He's mostly, like, getting a feel for the forest. Can he sense this thing coming before it does? I can dig up the rules for primordial awareness if you'd like. But I don't know.
Yeah, let's take a look at that one.
I just have to add that Slane was like, oh yeah, he's just snacking with the horse, like nonchalant.
I'm like that. I'm picturing it's almost like for every chomp the horse is taking, Slane is also chomping upon the dirt and the grass. It's almost like just two old men sort of sitting at a bar, just amiably having their food and drink. There's no need to talk. They're just kind of like, yep. It's just that type of a vibe is the sense I'm getting between you and Nox.
King of the Hill, Margreave edition.
Right?
Mm-hmm. All right, so for 1 minute of spell level expended, first level, you can get a sense of whether the following types of creatures are present within 1 mile, and that includes undead.
Okay.
In fact, any of these aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, or undead. I think any of them. Creature doesn't reveal it. I don't know their location, or just whether
you just get the sense that they're approaching.
And he wants to wait until the sun has dipped below the tree line, kind of moment.
Okay, so it is starting. Hello, cat. It is starting to get to that point where the sun, you don't see that little bit of the crest or even the light peeking over the trees anymore. It's that lighting where you can tell it's almost down completely. It's gone to more of like that purple magenta coloring in the sky, and the temperature has dropped drastically. You can feel the air shifting from daylight to evening because of the lack of the sunlight, and the moon is coming up as well at this point. And you have the starlight playing through, so you almost have the moon playing off of the surface of the lake, adding a little bit of extra light to the area of that open area in front of the longhouse itself.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm going to
1 minute. Okay.
Sure thing.
No, I'm saying I was looking at the duration, so it's 1 minute.
Yeah.
Or
yeah, it's just
how long?
So.
What's spell level?
First level's all. Yeah, that's all I got. So
Okay.
That's what he's waiting. He's waiting till that moment where just he intuits it's gone from dusk to night, and that's when he'll attune himself to see if he can sense it. But in that time, he's gonna have Noname. He's gonna find his witch light and basically just like stick with either Gervain or Zira. I think they have trouble seeing in the dark. I'll be fine. But stick with one of them.
All right, and you see Noname just sort of do their. They've created almost like this flickering language with you. So they do this flicker where you can tell that they've acknowledged what you're saying, and you see them sort of bouncing off in the direction Gervain went to sort of lick his wounds. And so you're not activating this right now. You're waiting until it's absolutely dark.
I just, like for thematic reasons, he's waiting until it's night, and then we'll go ahead. Let's say we do it right now, though, just to get it.
Okay. All right. So it's shifted into night for sure. The fact that Ryork has even come, it has started to be. It was dusk for his arrival. It has to be.
Oh,
it's
that's
just
right.
The way it works for the dark night, for the black night, I should say. So you've already hit that important time frame. But now it has gone fully dark. Noname's light is more significant now as a result. Gervain, it has come over to you, and it's sort of giving you its distance. They aren't fully on top of you. You sort of see the dim light coming from Noname, so you know they're there because it's a very distinct green light that's flickering there. But giving you your space ahead of time. And for you, Slane, you definitely you're starting to pick up on what we would call the usual creatures, especially with considering your party. You would be familiar with their presence, being fae, being connected to the undead type of situation, and obviously with Baba Yaga being there, she's registered as well, as is Ryork and others. But you are getting a sense of 6 miles. You are getting a sense of something is in the distance. While it isn't going to be there right away, it's probably best to go in and let people know something is on its way.
Yeah, that's all he's looking for. Is it going to be tonight? Is it going to be soon? And he'll just shout in Gervain's direction. He's not gonna like go over there and interrupt him, but just something's coming through the woods. We shouldn't be too much longer, but prepare yourself. Get ready. And then he's gonna just spread the news.
I'm ready for anything right now.
Yeah, use it, man. Just use it, and you know what to do. And he'll go spread the news.
Start spreading the news. So you go inside to the longhouse?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you walk into the longhouse and you see your companion sitting at the table. You see Riork just sort of standing off, not too far away, but sort of keeping his eyes between looking at the door and then looking down the hallway. You can sort of tell he's running security at this point, seeing what's going on.
Slane thinks better of asking him about if they're ever going to get paid, and instead, it's like they're coming. I can sense them just out in the forest, and he'll just keep going in the kitchen where everybody's eating. That kind of thing.
All right. So the rest of you just been alerted to the fact that this mist is on its way, or whoever, something is on its way based off of Slane's ability to sort of pick up on these things. And you've known Slane long enough to know that he has this uncanny ability to just sort of read the forest every so often. So this isn't just Slane sort of, talking about the grandmothers and maybe this might happen. This is Slane's actually stepping up to the plate.
Yeah,
I don't think that I would say much, but I think I double check that, everything is buckled and everything's in place. My swords are both there and accessible, just kind of like preparing.
Okay.
Let's see. I think
And the
Slane
rest of
is
you?
ask
Go ahead.
Baba Yaga to bless his arrows.
Okay. Ask him directly?
I think you were just like, we got a fight ahead of us, and he's got his
Well,
quiver
she's not
out.
in the room right now. She'd actually walked off into the back areas to go check on Gypsophilia.
In that case, he's searching for her. He's searching around.
Okay. So are you saying Baba Yaga, where are you type of thing?
He's not like calling her name, but he might,
Okay.
Have asked which way she went, that kind of thing.
Okay. So as you're sort of looking for her, you see Mama Rihanna. She comes out, and soon after you see Baba Yaga come out, but this time she is in her true form. She's no longer prancing around as Jaleesa.
Ah, Slane, what's wrong, darling boy?
I just, I was hoping you could enchant my arrows so that I could hurt this SOB.
You want...
Yeah.
After what you pulled, you want me to do something for you.
Listen, it's a dog-eat-dog world, Grandma, and I understand that I crossed the line, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, and I thought I was helping out. So you can be mad at me and like all of that, or not, and just forgive me and enchant my arrows. I don't care. It's like you already ruined all my friends, so it's okay.
Oh, Slane persuasion.
Here we go.
It's a dog-eat-dog world, Grandma.
This is Gervain's dumb shit, not Slane's. You're supposed to be all about this. What's going on?
Hey, that is a 16, and I got a camera.
I'm going to prove it's a 16.
I can see that.
I mean, I think we know you. We can trust you that one.
Anyway, yes, with his.
You're willing to eat chicken feet. I'm willing to believe you on the dice roll.
They're delicious. I'll try them again when they're crispy.
Well, you want crispy chicken feet, not floppy chicken feet. Oh, God, they really were not that good looking. So, you said 16. So
Yeah.
she kind of gives you a look, and huffs a little bit.
It's a 15. It's a 15.
It's a 15. Okay. You see her clench her jaw a little bit too. And this is, you can tell she's in conflict with her jaws at this point. If she's having to clench her jaw, that means the jaws want to do one thing. She's thinking something else.
Sorry, I didn't mean to speak harshly.
And her jaw just sort of does this clenching and wiggle side to side. And you,
Tell you what, give me 5 of your arrows.
All right.
I'll bless 5 of them.
Thank you.
And she'll bless 5 of them. And those you
Boots
can
are
roll.
warm in the cold.
What was that?
Your boots are really warm in the cold.
Well, they're supposed to be. They made them specially for you.
I like them. Thank you.
You're welcome. Dear boy.
He's gonna go get ready.
Okay, those 5 arrows, those are arrows you can roll with advantage when you choose
Okay.
to use them. That's how we'll treat the blessing. Okay?
Sweet.
But you
All
only get 5 of them.
Mhm.
Okay, so everyone else, you kind of just sort of pulling together. ALL, Maurice, Gervain, you're still outside. And
Yep.
Mama comes and sits down with the rest of you. And Baba's sort of off talking with Finium in the distance. And you can see they're both kind of clenching their jaws back and forth as they're speaking with each other. It's intense conversation. And Mama just sort of looks over at them and rolls her eyes.
Well, they're coming up with their game plan. What's yours? You gonna stand here and hide, or you gonna go out there and try and kill it, or stop it, or I don't know, just make it go bye-bye.
I mean, first off, we got to figure who it's coming after. I mean, is it just coming after us for revenge, or is it going to try to steal back?
That's not the important bit.
It's coming
have
after
to-
here.
Yeah.
Well, you're saying, my dear.
We have a game plan. We may have had to have revised it a little bit.
All right. So you're going to go outside and fight the mist, is what you're saying? Or are you going to stay in here where it can't come in?
It can't come in
Finian's made
here?
it- Not unless it's invited. And I don't think he is about to do that.
And she nods back towards Finium.
Okay, but we can't fit like everyone in here, and even at that, we can't all live in here forever.
Well,
That's
they are making
not
sure people are.
thing to
It's going. You're right. It's going to be tight quarters. They're bringing in everyone else as much as possible. This longhouse is built to at least act as a bit of a fortress for the people. But we can't do this every single night. It's going to get old fast.
And Shreg will come trotting up to you guys. In fact, he's almost excited a little bit.
I found out some little things, some stuff, like she said. They can't come in. No inviting them in. All right, don't invite them in. But they're pretty darn persistent. So if you got your magic, use it. And same thing for your weapons. And
They look over to Mama.
if you have anything that does like natural or sunlight type of stuff, that'd be good too. But it's gonna be tough.
We can destroy it, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
well,
There's totally a history of it happening.
okay. Well, it seems like.
This one. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say maybe we could just make it think that it's worth attacking in one place. You know.
So set the trap.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah. Just keep in mind, this is not, just the garden variety Crimson Mist. It's got a little bit more to it, so it's probably gonna be a bit of a longer fight. But you
Oh,
can
yeah.
fight it! You can fight
So-
it. You can defeat it.
We actually have a plan for dealing with the mist and all that. We need to talk to Infinium, and I think you need to be up to date on what the plan is too. So,
All right.
If
so
it's coming, should we start setting it up?
well, we
Absolutely.
don't have the golem yet. We need the golem first. I wonder. She said the big thing
The
was
golem-
druidic power, but isn't
keep
that
in mind the
something
golem
that
is for the
all-
sacrifice. The golem wasn't for fighting the Crimson Mist. I'm going to jump in there to clear up any confusion.
Okay.
Those are 2 separate things. The sacrifice and the fighting the Crimson Mist. You have 2 separate things happening right now.
Okay.
Gervain's still
Okay.
outside.
Yep, Jordan is still outside.
Maurice will go find Gervain.
Okay.
As I understand, we got to survive 20 nights of this thing attacking us while Mama Rihanna gets her ritual ready.
Not
Didn't
unless
that
you
hurt?
defeat it tonight.
Right. Well, this okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you've come to the realization you can take the vampire Elseed.
Yeah.
The mist
Let's
is
do
not
it.
exactly what you need anymore.
Yeah.
That's something Mama mentioned, that it's not one of those things where you need the mist anymore, you just need to make it stop.
Mhm.
And Shreg has let you know that you can defeat it. Because it's
Oh, yeah.
essentially, it's not the vampire lady anymore. It's a paler version of what it once was. It's an energy left over, so to speak.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah, we're going to try to destroy it.
Okay.
Get it in a room with Maurice.
All right. So, as of right now, because this is vampiric, it does hold to those rules. It has to be invited into the longhouse to get access to the longhouse. So, it can oogity boogity through the windows as much as it wants, but it's not going to be able to get inside. As soon as you are outside, though, it's open access. It can come after you. It can do what it's going to do. And you now have Maurice and Gervain outside.
Yeah. I mean, I think some of
Shreg.
us are going to have to be outside to even get it close to the house. Like, if that's where we want to fight it. Unless we want to go do it outside, away from the house. So there's no
That's
close
just it.
advantage.
Do we want it near all the people? Should we go further out?
The horse is outside, too. Can't leave.
Don't forget about
Can't forget about that horse.
Forget
Which, by the way, you have a little bit of dirt on your chin.
it's delicious.
Got it or something there.
So that is something to consider. Do you guys want to talk this out a little bit, figure out your game plan? Because it was off in the distance. It's not going to be there.
We have some time.
You have time. You absolutely have time.
Right.
You probably have about an hour, hour and a half even to work with.
I guess we find Gervain and Maurice and then decide.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's all get
Shreg
together.
insists on staying inside because they feel they'd be better suited to helping should any reason the longhouse need further protection. Don't you dare bite my headphones, Kat. Sorry. So they're insisting they stay inside, and
I can throw out some longer spells if it gets, closer to the house type of thing. I'll do watching your 6.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because I don't have any sunlight.
Yeah, neither do I. Maurice, I would imagine you do the
but you
holy
guys
thing.
do have magic, some of you, correct?
Yes.
I mean, I have a magic hatchet, at the very least.
Okay.
I
So
will hatchet this thing.
there you go. So you have
I am
something.
feeling a little ill-equipped, but being Zira, I feel like I have to prove myself. So
Okay.
I'm charging head in without really much of anything. I'm winging it.
All right.
Could
She's
we-
going in with a mission.
Do you maybe somehow convince it to go into some sort of vessel?
This is something that can move through
I found
objects.
bellows earlier. But
Right,
they
go,
said
like,
it could phase out,
Convince
right?
it to like possess a thing or something. I don't know.
What was that, Jim?
I said they said Shrek said it could phase in and out of vessels, right, and objects and things.
Yeah, it's basically like you're
Hard
fighting
to
fog. Essentially, it's not solid. It's something that can even sort of work its way into where you are standing exactly. And Mama
Sure.
even made that clear. She says you can't hold a moonbeam in your hand.
Can it fill up our lungs?
Are you asking Shreg or?
Yeah, he'll ask. Yeah, no, he's asking.
I mean, it's not good to be right in its embrace. Let's put it that way.
Gotcha. Good to know. Good to know. Don't occupy the same space as it. All right, yeah. Is there a place like outside of the longhouse that we could fight it safely, like so that we wouldn't accidentally hurt anybody else?
You could very easily, because remember the longhouse is on top of sort of like a hill.
Mhm.
So if you were to go down the slope, you'd have, if you're walking out of the longhouse, you go down this slope and you have this open area where they would normally do like their lunches and dinners on nicer evenings. And then you'd have the lake to your left-hand side, a little bit down the ways. So you have this open area where you could very easily encounter this creature again. It's basically where you had your first battle. So it's
Sure.
not going to be near the longhouse. The longhouse will still be in view, and the longhouse could still see you, but it's probably a good, depending on where you land, 60 to 120 feet away from the longhouse itself,
Okay.
from the main entrance.
I mean, what do you guys think?
I think that would be the best plan.
About 60 feet away.
I'm not there.
I thought we'd all.
You have
together
to
we'd
find
go-
Gervain and Maurice, my dears. It's just the three of you right now.
Oh, well, let's go find them. I thought we had already. I thought we'd all bunched up.
No.
My bad.
Nope.
Let's go get
All
them.
of you people always on walkabouts.
Listen,
That's so
if you don't keep a leash on us, we're just going to wander away.
I'm going to give you guys all those backpacks with the long animal tails, okay?
We need
And then
belts.
I'm going to hold on to you like a pack of dogs, okay?
That is a visual.
Yeah.
That is a visual and a half.
Draw that. Just kidding.
If we can have one fan art, it's Zira, like walking all of us who are all taller. That's the fan art we need.
Yeah.
It's a freaking loop.
Elsie Breeze.
I will throw it on just because.
Just because
You're
you
tall,
can.
you too.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Wait, wasn't
let's-
there
All right, let's
like
find
a-
them.
There you go. So you go off to find Maurice and Gervain. Maurice, you had left earlier to seek out Gervain. Would you have had a conversation while these three were inside talking with Shreg and Mariana?
If I found Gervain in time, then absolutely.
You would have had enough time for that type of conversation, yeah.
Okay.
You probably
So
have
then
about
assuming I
15,
found
20
him-
minutes. Okay.
Perfect. So then, yeah,
Gervain,
assuming I
would you-
found him, just kind of approach me like, I can't help but notice getting a little hot and bothered under the collar over Mama Yaga and her friends. What's going on, Gervain?
No, you noticed that. Sure. Okay.
Wasn't
You're
exactly
subtle.
subtle, if you catch my drift.
Yeah, well, I'm not feeling it today. We just fought vampire thing. Baba Yaga is controlling this whole place. The last time we saw Riorik, he was feeling shitty, not doing well, and now he's Mama Rihanna's errand boy. Like, I don't want to fucking be that.
Nobody said you were gonna.
Yeah, but everyone's like, oh, let's go do things for Mama Rihanna. Yeah, sure, everything's great. And I'm the only one who's just like, I want to get the fuck out of here. Everyone's just want to stay in this forest. They're okay with staying here for the time being, or maybe indefinitely. And I feel like I'm going crazy. Everyone's cool. And it's just me and Czar. And I get to talk to Czar, and he's cool. He understands, but like everyone, I feel alone.
Sure. Hey, let me ask you something, Gervain. You spend a lot of time thinking about ants?
What?
Serious question. Tiny little creatures, 6 legs. Think about them much?
Sure, when I have food, or if I'm sleeping, or if they're around where I'm going to be resting for the moment. Sure.
Great. Well, the people like Baba Yaga and all the rest of the gods, deities, demigods, whatever, folks like us, we're just little ants. It's our job just to not get stepped on, Gervain. Maybe we come up when they got food or sleep or some kind of crazy existential terror in the form of a red mist coming out of a rock. Otherwise, they don't give us too much thought. You keep sticking your stick right into that little nest, though, then suddenly you're going to be on our mind for a long time. And if I know
Sure.
anything about the gods and people with their kind of power level, it's best to be an ant, best to be forgotten.
I don't believe in them at all. Like, I've gone by, I've seen things. I don't believe in that. They
You don't
weren't there
need
for
to.
me.
An
Whatever.
ant doesn't believe in a boot until it steps on it. It's just a concept, right until it's on top of you. It's just
If an
best to
ant
stay out
is-
of the way.
If I need to be an ant to get the fuck out of here, I'm okay with it.
And I'm just gonna. I assume he was trying to get me to go back to other people.
So what's the whole point of this, Maurice? Sure, I'll be an ant. I'll play the game. I mean, that's what we're doing, right? I mean, that's what I'm doing. I don't know what everyone else is doing.
Well, that's basically it. Just try not to get stepped down. And then Marisa can give me a big pat on the shoulder.
Fine. You make sense for once. Sounds easy enough.
And I'm gonna. Gervain's like on one whole level. Like he's mad that he lost a confrontation with Baba Yaga. Mad he lost a confrontation with Riorik, and is stuck here. He's mad. So
He's looking at wounds, yeah.
Once Gervain presumably kind of storms off, Maurice is going to take a second and just kind of look down at his waist and take a look at that vial of vampire L-Seed blood that he's got, but not do anything with it, and then follow after Gervain.
Okay. And you'd have Noname, Gervain bouncing after you because they are holding to their agreement with Slain. So as Slain, AOL, and Zira come out, you will see Noname's notable color of light bouncing off. So for you, Slain, you know right away that's about where Gervain is. So it's actually quite easy for you guys to go and try and find him.
Yeah, right over there, where the light is.
Go to the light. Just don't go into it.
So you'd first encounter Maurice. Maurice, do you sort of catch them up with Gervain's current state of attitude, or do you sort of keep yourself quiet?
I don't think that's really Maurice's place to bring it up. He would just try to stay closer to Gervain than the others. Not really encroaching on his space. He's not going to be like looming over him, but try to basically position himself in such a way that he can act as a barrier between Gervain and irritants if possible.
Okay, that makes sense. So technically, all of you are back together outside. Little Czar has kept close to you, Gervain. Nox has actually made herself more comfortable closer to the Longhouse Slain. It's almost as if she wants to keep close to wherever Riorik is, and Riorik is still inside because his job is to keep Baba Yaga safe, and Baba Yaga has made a point to not come out yet. Operative word is yet. Keep that in mind. So the five of you now have a chance to communicate with each other your wishes and wants and game plan, if you have any, for fighting this creature.
Yeah, I think about 60 feet from the house. I hate to mess up their front lawn, but do what you got to do.
Are we certain that L-Seed is paralyzed and can't somehow invite the fog in?
That's a question I can't answer.
I don't think we want it invited in. We don't want it around them. They're in the building to stay away from it because it can't they'll get in long as no one invites it.
Well, its minions could get in, right?
Can they?
I'm operating on the assumption they can.
Am I misremembering? Am I having like a memory, like a fake memory where I thought that one of the vampires tried to take control of us at some point? Or is that a fake memory that I'm having?
No, I think I remember that too. I don't think it worked.
If it's not a fake memory...
I mean, take control of you. I don't recall trying to control you. There was a spell she could hold person.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's good enough.
Whole person. It wasn't to control you.
Right.
Gervain, you know based on your background that it would have to be something where, if it's anything vampiric based, they would all have to get invited inside. Type of situation. Okay. And it would have to be, the one who that is their home, that is their abode, which technically is only Gypsophilia, Fae, and Finium, because they live there.
Gotcha.
That is considered their home.
Okay. So even if she is somehow unparalyzed, she can't open the door for the vampire.
She's also she's another vampire. She can't. She's not living anymore, so she hasn't that ability. Even if she were to say be the sister or something like that, it wouldn't work that way.
So if we're outside, we're the only things they can eat.
Yes,
except yours.
You're the entree.
Well, I hope not.
That's
Knox.
one way
I mean,
putting it
Gosh.
slain, I guess.
I mean, that's what's going to happen if we don't win. You know, if we
Win.
fail at what we're trying to do. All right, yeah, I trust you, Gervain. Also, you can just go south and get out of here, I think.
What are you talking about?
I overheard something at the door, but it just,
I'm not even gonna talk about that right now. We have something in front of us. Not talking about that.
Fair enough. But yeah, I think this spot over here. And he'll point, like, we can do this with the, if it's where we fought this morning, then I remember it being, like, really open. There wasn't a lot of trees or anything.
It's very much open. The trees are tucked further towards the edge, and you have the lake behind you. So it's sort of like being in an open field. You probably have a good football field's worth of space to work with.
Okay.
That's a new one.
I don't think we need to worry about the stake either. I think there's enough people who have the same intent as us that nothing could happen or should.
Yeah, I think so too. The only thing Slane wants to do is he'll have a blood hound going to see if he can't smell them before, as they come up. I don't know if they smell like blood mist. That's what he's hoping.
Yeah, I think there'd definitely be a scent to it because it's this sort of entity floating around. You can tell just even the feel of the forest seems to be shifting. You can tell it's getting closer. Something is coming upon you. You're not getting the night activities that you normally would in the grove. It seems the forest animals are sort of making themselves scarce as if they're feeling that there's something ominous on its way. And at this point, the moon is high over the area in which you stand. Its light is bouncing off the surface of the lake, which has actually gone very still. Again, because everything seems to have sort of quieted.
Ewell, what are you thinking? You're pretty quiet. You're usually the one who knows a little bit more than most of us. Well, at least you and Maurice do.
That's just it. This thing, taking on this stuff, it requires light and stuff. When have you ever seen me make light that's like light? We're kind of a little bit out of my actual depth here. I mean, I know I gotta take this stuff down. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to be able to actually contribute here. I mean I've got fire arrows, but that's my best shot right now, I think.
We'll all just try our best. I think, Maurice, do you have any light, anything that Ewell's mentioning?
Oh, I might have a few things ready.
All right. Well, everyone, you heard that. Zira, you heard that. It sounds like what we need to do is make sure that we protect Maurice until he's ready to do what he's going to do.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Great
Just
idea.
like Ewell the last time, we made sure Ewell was fine. So this time, one of us has to accompany Maurice, at least between me and you, Zira. And then we try and take this thing down.
Do you
I got
have
5 magic arrows, if anybody wants them. They're blessed by Baba Yaga, so just, FYI.
No thanks. I'm cool.
I didn't think you would want them, Tremaine. I, just asking others.
I love it.
Did she just give those to you?
No, probably not. I'm probably going to pay for it later.
No comment.
A bubbly.
It's a dog-eat-dog world, grandson.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of, long as we can somehow keep it close to a tree line and I've got trees to work with.
All right.
Gervain, I think you would be more helpful going with Maurice than I would in this situation.
You know what? You're probably right. I'm not in the right place right now. I'm just going to be right next to Maurice, so it's on. You got it. You got it today.
And me and Zar will kind of skedaddle a little bit nearer to Maurice, taking our place.
All right, great. So we're getting a lot of wind and stuff where I live right now, and I've just gotten 3 notifications that my internet keeps dropping. So I think we're at a point tonight where the 5 of you are standing outside and you're lit by the moonlight. You can see there's actually kind of a little cast of shadows. The moon is so bright that you get a sense of sort of outlining of details, not exact details, but you can tell the tree lines, you can tell rocks and bits of blades of grass and things like that because of how strong the light is. And as you're standing there, you don't have to be a Ranger of the Margreave to feel the shift in the air. As you see coming out of the tree line, kind of close to where she initially faded away, the misty form of a woman coming out towards you, and you hear this sneering voice. I'm here to take back what exists because of me and my companions. And I see I have a nice tasty treat in front of me. And we're going to leave it there for this evening as we jump into season 2 of The Last Heir here on the Kobold Press Twitch channel. If we try and get to battle right now between my internet dropping and the time it's going to take, I don't think we're going to. No. Plus, I'd hate for my internet to go kaput, and we're like right in the thick of it. That's like the suckiest thing to possibly happen. So, to everyone who is with us in the chat, thank you so much! It is so good to see those names popping up again, and it was so great to see the subscriptions. Don't forget, you can now subscribe to the Twitch channel. We have that ability now. That cropped up. Yay, huzzah! And I think we have some emojis in the works, or we have the emojis coming up. I'm going to find out about that one too. But
if you'd like to use your Amazon Prime,
you can do that too. It's a lovely thing. You can even gift subscriptions if you so choose. Just a little, tidbit hint for you. Anyways, this was fantastic to be back playing with you guys. I tell you, it's one of those things I never know what you're gonna do, and I love every second of it and every little curveball. And Gervain, what the hell got into you tonight? But okay. This was most
I don't know. That's Gervain. I don't know.
Hey, it's a thing. So we'll be back again next week. Keep going, see what happens with our intrepid crew as they face off with our Crimson Mist, Lady Vailmith. And we're going to go back around opposite direction. Tell us who you are, where we can find you. Tell us of any happenings that are going on. Plug the socials, plug the things that are going on. And we're going to start with Jesse.
Oh my God, it's me! My name is Jesse. I can be found on the internet as @JesseNeon. The only thing that I am up to as of late is my novel, The Grave Robber's Sword, is out. You can buy it at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all that fun stuff. And I'm currently working on a booster pack product for Dungeon Masters, where you open up a booster pack and there's your session. Your quests, your NPCs, your monsters, your threats, all that fun jazz. So that's going to be coming up in a couple of weeks.
And all that jazz. I love it. Fantastic.
And
wonderful.
all that
and we're gonna...
jazz. Mandatory echo.
You're going to get me going. Forget it. Don't get me started in Chicago. So we're going to slide on over to Kai.
Hey, I am Stonefly_Kai on Twitter and Instagram. Right now, this and Fae Forged Academy are my 2 big projects. That is a school, and Michael is part of it too. A Fae Forged school, Fae school. What am I trying to say? Gosh, I'm
Fae
so
Forged
good
Academy.
at
Fae Forged
these
Academy.
V knows it.
Of course I do.
You would think
my
I've been
players are
doing
in it.
this for a year now, and you'd think I'd be better at these outros, but I'm
you
not.
good. You good.
Anyways, it's a podcast that comes out on Fridays, and then we stream as well for that. And I was really excited about our ending tonight. I'm already looking forward to next Sunday. So,
yeah, me too. I like it when we jump right into conflict. It's cool. And now to Jim. You're up, my dear.
Thank you. I'm excited. I love that moment in D&D when everybody's like, I don't know, let's just throw down with the monster and see what happens. All the plans, all the schemes, all the wondering, and it's like, now it's time to just have a rumble. So looking forward to next week. I am Jim Davis, one half of WebDM. We've got episodes out on YouTube on Wednesdays. I am also playing a game of Pendragon over on Eric Vulgaris' channel on Sundays. Or wait, that's tonight. Mondays. Gosh. I work from home and I never know what day of the week it is.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's just the way.
That's such a thing.
Anyway, yes, and our esteemed producer here on the channel, Charlie, is also a guest on that channel. Pendragon's awesome. So, yeah, check us out there Mondays, Eric Vulgaris' channel. And yeah, great to be back. And I hope, I hope we really get stuck in next week. You know, that's just me though. I love a good rumble.
Well, hey, you never know. Ask and you shall receive. Moving up to Torn Pixie.
Hi, I'm Torn Pixie, and you can find me at Torn Pixie Twitch on Twitter and Instagram, and then here on Twitch and TikTok at Torn Pixie. I don't have as much going on as I used to because I've got work and school, but when I am on, you can usually find me either doing some MTG things, or I've got a couple other D&D things that I run on my channel. And then TikTok, I'm launching a tag there, doing some Harry Potter roleplay things. It's fun. I post about it sometimes. Sometimes.
Beautiful. And last but certainly not least, our shitster, Gervain.
Hello, I'm Gervain, also known as Michael Sinclair, also known as Michael Crits. That's my character. I'm totally wise enough to take magical arrows and not start shit, but that's Gervain, so there we go. Anyway, that was my favorite moment, was just seeing where Gervain just pops off. He's just like, I am sick of all this shit. Apparently he did it. But anyway, Michael Crits on Twitter, Michael Crits on Instagram, and Michael Crits on Twitch. I also, obviously, Kai just said that we are part of Fae Forge Academy, and I play a young strapping warlock named Besky Nevering, and he sounds not like at all like Gervain. So you can catch us there every Friday, and then we do some Twitch live stream on Sundays earlier in the day. So that's where you can find me there. And let's see, what else was I gonna? Oh yeah. I work at Mountain Gear in Spokane, famous outdoor shop, but it's closing sometime near February time, so I have to find a job somehow. So that's great, but that's what I'll be up to. That's my other project, is we're finding a job. But anyway, Michael Sinclair, Michael Crits. I'm always on Twitter, always talking and stuff, but tonight was amazing. It was fun to get back into it. So thanks for hanging with Gervain and a lot of Gervainness. Sorry, folks.
It was a Gervain angsty heavy episode, but it's all good. And I am the Muse. I am your DM here on the Kobold Press Twitch channel. You can find us here every Sunday night at 8 p.m. for The Last Heir. It is a Margreave inspired campaign that we are carrying through into another season, and I can't wait to see where you are all going to take us. That is for sure. I love how you are all shaping the story in your own ways, shapes, and forms. You can also find me every Thursday over on Mini Train Domain playing Cantriel, my Eladrin bard, who is sassy and spicy, and she's got attitude. She's another Gervain, actually. So you can find me there, and then you'll find me once a month over on Nerdarchy playing my Pyro Kitty, Bramble of Thorns. And another project is in the work. This is going to be a podcast, and another player here on the Kobold Twitch channel, McCloakin, is going to be a player as well, and we're doing a Humblewood theme, piratey setting. So come over and check us out, love, in the podcast. I'm playing a lovely little vixen, and I can't wait to jump into that one either. And you can also find me over on Twitch. I am on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, in the various forums as The Crafting Muse. This was wonderful. This was fantastic. It was so good to see your faces again and hear the voices and watch you all play your interactions out. I can't wait for next week and see what you do with this. Until then, everyone, please, please have a lovely week. Take care of yourselves and be good to each other. Until then, bye-bye.
Good night.
Farewell.
Goodbye.
Good night, all. Good night.